Hey there, so I have an Alice in Bibleland storybook to read to you. This one is the story of Esther. A little girl named Alice sat in a cozy nook. She read about Queen Esther in her Bible storybook. And as she read, the airmail bird flew to her window sill and gave this little note to her he'd carried in his bill. Reading is a magic key to take you where you want to be. The Bible storybook she held became a giant screen. Alice stepped on through to Bibleland and came upon this scene. The king of Persia was lonely, and his men searched far and wide for kind and lovely maidens, so the king could choose a bride. A Jewish man named Mordecai, a wise and loyal man, was working at the palace and heard about this plan. He had a cousin, Esther, who was lovely, kind, and sweet. He knew the king would like her, so he arranged for them to meet. From all the maidens that he met, the fairest to be seen, the king chose Esther for his wife, and she became his queen. Esther made him happy with her kindness and her charm. Cousin Mordecai stayed near the gate and kept the king from harm. Now the king was very busy. His kingdom was quite grand, so he chose a man named Haman to help him rule the land. The king said everyone must bow when Haman comes in view, and almost every person bowed as they were told to do. But Mordecai refused to bow when Haman passed him by, for the Jews bow down to no one but God who rules on high. In anger, Haman told the king, "Some people living here do not obey your laws, and that could do you harm, I fear." The king agreed with Haman to destroy those lawless few, not knowing Haman tricked him into killing every Jew. Then Haman sent out letters that on a certain date he'd kill the Jews in Persia who'd filled his heart with hate. When Mordecai discovered what evil Haman planned, he asked his cousin Esther to give a helping hand. "Cousin dear, I beg you, please go before the king. Plead with him and ask him not to do this dreadful thing." "But I can't go before the king unless he sends for me. He might punish me with death," said Esther fearfully. "I know this law," said Mordecai, "but Esther, you must try. Remember you are Jewish too, which means you too could die." Queen Esther went before the king, dressed in her royal best. The king asked Esther, "What's your wish? I'll give you your request." She said, "I planned a banquet. I'd be pleased as I could be if tonight both you and Haman would come and dine with me." They feasted on the finest food, served on the royal dishes. "Dear Esther," said the king again, "I'll grant you your fondest wishes." But Esther couldn't tell the king. The time just wasn't right. "Both of you please come," she said, "again tomorrow night." The next night, when the feast was done, the king said one more time, "Esther, dear, my lovely queen, what are you wishing for?" Then Esther bravely answered, "If you love me as your wife, you must not let the Jews be killed, for then I'll lose my life." Mordecai won't bow to Haman, to God alone he prays. Now wicked Haman's made a law to kill the Jews this day. The king said, "I won't harm you, for you are very dear, and I won't harm your people, for now everything is clear." Wicked Haman tricked me. He'll die for what he planned, and Mordecai, your cousin, will help me rule the land. As Alice walked from Bibleland by stepping through the screen, she thought God had a purpose for making Esther queen. Though Queen Esther was in danger and as frightened as can be, her faith and deep belief helped her to act courageously. She became a heroine, and she stood up brave and tall, and put God's chosen people first and saved them, one and all. And just like Esther, we must try to help each other too. and be true to our belief and faith and steadfast through and through. And that's the end of the story of Esther.